everybody! So today I'm doing another tag and this is going to be really fun. Here we're talking about TV and this is the TV tag that was given me by Matthew Aaronholt. And I don't talk about TV as much as I talk about movies. And so this will be sort of fun for you guys. What is your favorite TV show? And I tried to, if I was going to use a different answer for another question, I tried to do something different. And since there's another question about animated television shows, my favorite TV show is The Simpsons, but my favorite other show is Survivor. Survivor because there is so many layers to it that you can enjoy it. You can enjoy it just as sort of guilty pleasure, I guess, kind of reality voyeurism type TV, but also there is that actual real strategy and the fact that every season is a little bit different and every season there's a different kind of win, and I think it's interesting to talk about with fellow fans, talk about the different plays and how things went down. And it's just a great show that every season 31 or we're at season 32, that we are getting different ways to win each time, and it's just a great show. My favorite season of Survivor is Survivor Kagayan. You had Tony, who was super entertaining. You had Chaos Cast. I just don't think that there was really a miss. Even the maybe more forgettable characters were still decent in Kagayan, and it just proved to be super entertaining, mostly because Tony was insane and talking llama and all kinds of stuff, and I just love the guy. He's great. Okay, so next is, what is a show you love that was canceled too soon? There's two that were fairly recent. One was A to Z. I thought it was such a cute little romantic type story. I really liked the two leads. I can't think of Ben. Can't think of his last name, but you had Kristen Milioti from How I Met Your Mother, and she was so cute, and they had such good chemistry, and it was a good show, but people didn't like it, but I liked it, so oh well. And then the other one is Hindsight. This was such a good show about a girl who ends up going back in time to herself in the 90s, and she gets the chance to kind of make some of these decisions over again with hindsight, and it was so good, but unfortunately it didn't get it. It was gonna get season 2, and then all of a sudden it never happened, so that bummed me out because I really did like it. Oh well. Next is your favorite animated series, Simpsons. And if we're going past The Simpsons, it's tough. I mean, there's Looney Tunes, there's Doug I really liked growing up. A lot of the shows I liked growing up, they don't hold up super well. They're incredibly repetitive, that you can only watch episode here and episode there, which is probably what I kind of did growing up because we just didn't watch that much TV that I watched every week. And so if you sit down and watch the Disney Afternoon or something like that, you really can only watch a couple episodes and it gets so boring, as opposed to shows now. I think you have shows like Gravity Falls, which honestly, for 2 seasons, if we're just going on the quality of, there is hardly a miss in Gravity Falls. There's obviously in 26 years, there's misses in Simpsons, of course, misses seasons almost. So if you're just going off of just the quality of the show, then you've got to go with Gravity Falls. It was so good, and I wish it had gone longer. I also love Star Wars Rebels. Animation's kind of my thing, so there's a lot in there. Okay, next is, what is a show that makes you yell at the screen due to massive investment? And I would say that was 24. There were so many moments because they would just love to leave things on these cliffhangers, and you get these moles, and you get these characters betraying each other, and you'd get, and you get that clock. Oh, what's going to happen? Oh, and so that's definitely one for me. Okay, next is, what is a show that is an adaptation of something you loved already? And I would say Sherlock. I love Sherlock Holmes. My whole family is huge into Sherlock Holmes. We talk about it, we debate it, we've seen all the versions, and we love Benedict Cumberbatch in Sherlock and Martin Freeman as Watson. It's just great. It's better than most Hollywood movies. It's so good. Okay. Next is, what is a show with a series finale you absolutely loved? And I say Boy Meets World. And of course, I loved Boy Meets World growing up. They were the sort of the same age as me. So like when they graduated high school was right when I was graduating high school. And it was just I was sort of the same age through their experiences. And at the end, you see the main four characters. You see Corey, you see Topanga, you see Sean, and you see Eric. And they are all there. And they get to say goodbye to Mr. Feeney.
We wanted to know if you had anything else left to teach us.
Believe in yourselves. Dream. Try. Do good.
Don't you mean do well?
No, I mean do good.
I will never forget you. You were more of a father to me than my own dad.
Never give up on me. Never once. I'm not gonna forget you. You're the best person I know.
I don't know what's gonna happen to me. But I do know that I'm gonna be a good person who cares about people. And I blame you for that. No, you'll always be with us. As long as we live.
He tells them to do good, and they give a chance to hug him and say goodbye. And if I don't know what's wrong with you if you don't have some emotion in that moment. It's perfect. It's just what you want. People think they have to be too clever and too cute for a series finale, but we really just want to say goodbye to characters that we like, and you want to see them in a good spot. That's what you want. I think the Mad Men finale was also really excellent. I thought it was a really good way to kind of say goodbye to Don and see him in this sort of peaceful sort of spot, and sort of have this glimpse of what is the future for Don. Your favorite show to last longer than 5 seasons? And I would say the Mary Tyler Moore Show. And it's so consistently funny for all 7 seasons. The cast changed, it morphed, they lost people, they gained people, and usually that is death to a show, but it still continued to be funny, but then it would also have real heart. They managed to have good chemistry in every cast that they got. They were able to get Betty White, and I think season 3, and she's hilarious as Sue Ann Nevins. Of course, you had Murray, you had Mary, you had Rhoda, just great characters. Cloris Leachman is so hilarious, and when she's on there, it's just a great show that also took on some social issues, and it's one that for some reason you don't see it on like Nick at Night and some other things like that as much as you probably should. Your favorite show that is a spin-off of another show. And I couldn't really think of a great one, but I went with Darkwing Duck, which is a spinoff of DuckTales. And it's actually pretty smart. It's pretty clever. And you got this sort of, it's interesting. You got this sort of detective, and he wants to, it's sort of a play off of The Shadow and some of those old sort of comic book type characters. And he wants to be kind of famous, and he sort of loves the spotlight. So there's sort of this ego to him that's really fun. And so that's the only one I could really think of. Next is a show that did something a little different with a familiar genre or genres. And so I would say How I Met Your Mother. And let's forget the ending, but as far as for what made it special for so long was this idea of a man telling the story. And so you get all these little clues, and sometimes you'd be like, oh, wait, I forgot. And I forgot that detail, or, I'm not going to tell you that part of the story, or you'd get little kind of clues of what was coming. And so there was this past perfect, I think they call it, that made it sort of interesting and fun, and it had just these great, characters. So it took this sort of Friends style, romantic kind of comedy type style of a sitcom, and kind of gave this new spin on it. The next question is, what's a show where you prefer certain characters a lot more than others? And I would say Big Bang Theory. I definitely prefer my well, it's interesting. Depending on the season, I prefer different characters certain seasons than other characters. But I definitely prefer in Big Bang Theory the original ensemble when they can get it, and when it's an ensemble sort of story, as opposed to the more individual kind of stories. When it gets too Sheldon centric, it's just the kind of character that's really fun in little doses, just kind of as a he takes everything so literally, and he's just so quirky and weird that you want him in this sort of small doses, but when you get too much of him, then he becomes annoying and over. That is the TV tag, and I will tag Adele in roll credits on this one, and if she sometimes does TV reviews, so it might be kind of fun to hear what she has to say. And yeah, anybody else that's interested in doing it, then go ahead and do it. It's kind of fun. So thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you later. Bye.